Hello, I'm Robin. Welcome to Bookspin. War number 81Q, Rewritten version, is the second story in the Instrumentality of Mankind sequence, and thus the second story in the Rediscovery of Man. This one's got quite an interesting history. There are in fact two versions of the story out there. The original was actually Paul Linebarger's first published work, long before he took the pen name Cordwainer Smith. It was published in a high school publication called The Adjutant in 1928, when he was just 15 years old, long before his SF writing career really took off in the 1950s. He then rewrote and expanded the story decades later, incorporating it into the Instrumentality of Mankind future history. And this was intended to be included in a short story collection that came out in 1961, I think. But it didn't make the final cut. Eventually, the rewritten version got included within the Rediscovery of Man, here, this book. And that is the story that I just read. I haven't read the original version, but that does get included also within this volume near the end of the book, within the non-instrumentality stories. So we will get to that one eventually. Anyway, this story is in a sense military science fiction. It imagines a future where conflict between nations is resolved through a type of tightly controlled remote warfare in which battles are staged in airships. And all kinds of rules are put in place for these battles to take place. Countries can only fight each other in this way once they have received a permit from the World Secretariat. And then the battle itself takes place in a designated area, a part of the globe, which kind of functions like an arena. And we have all these rules of engagement that are imposed by the Secretariat. So the airships are remotely piloted from far away. So no one actually gets killed in these battles. Instead, they are broadcast around the world as a kind of spectator sport. So it's about the safest and most civilized concept of war possible, if that makes any sense. It's more of a contest than a war, really. And in this story, we witness one such war between America and Tibet over some territorial issue. An American pilot is our main character, and he has 5 warships that he has to control in this battle, and he needs to fight 5 enemy ships. Whoever has the last ship standing or floating is the winner, and that's pretty much it as far as the premise goes. It's quite an entertaining spectacle, and it's certainly an intriguing idea, I think, as a possible form of future warfare. The airships give the story a bit of a steampunk vibe, but that's about as far as it goes with this story. I don't think there's much in the way of interesting characters to get invested in, so I wouldn't say it's one of Smith's finest stories. It's not a bad concept though. I think the most entertaining part of this story is just before the war begins. We read all of the rules and the stipulations of the war permit as laid out by the Universal War Board. And it's incredibly bureaucratic to the point of absurdity. So that made me laugh that bit. Anyway, it's not a bad story. Some interesting themes, but nowhere near the level of weird and wonderful greatness that Cordwainer Smith is capable of at the top of his game. All of that is still to come. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.